Hello, hello, NWI. Welcome to Bluer by the Lake, the podcast that explores region life through a blue lens. I'm your host, Tracy Martin, and joining us today is Robert Garcia. Robert currently serves as the city councilman for East Chicago's 5th District. Robert, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
I wish that you and I could be chatting about something like a street festival or the old Harris Waltz Field Office in Gary or
Yes, I
any of the
agree.
interesting things happening in NWI. But instead, I want to talk to you about something that the community, I think, is really underestimating. ICE. ICE is here. It has been a few interesting weeks in NWI, and East Chicago is in the epicenter of
Yes, it is.
the activity up here. So I know that I, in particular, was surprised to discover this a few weeks ago. Do you think everyone in Lake County understands that Lake County, Indiana, is officially part of Operation Midway Blitz?
I don't think they understand it, especially in your other cities. But I think like your majority Hispanic cities, understand it more because ICE has been here. But I don't think the other cities really realize it.
Yeah, same. And when I tell people this, they say, "Oh," and they're surprised, and they think about it for a minute, and they're like, "Oh, well, Trump's got Chicago in his eye. He's having fun over there, and he's busy over there. We're not gonna get the same kind of misery they are, but I think that is naive at best." And I thought this a few weeks ago, and I think a lot of us who started wondering if maybe we should start to be more concerned here in Lake County, um, we're right to be worried. I
Yes,
think we need to be better prepared to help the immigrant community here. Tell me what you're
yeah.
seeing and hearing in East Chicago.
I've seen ICE a couple times here in East Chicago. So a lot of people are scared. In East Chicago is probably your most Hispanics in the state of Indiana. I think Hammond might come in three in the state, but East Chicago is about 60% Hispanic. So we got a lot of people that's worried, but quite a few sightings of ICE here in East Chicago and also in Gary.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing too. I actually, this one really, n- it's it's a small moment that really kind of hit me upside the head. Just yesterday, actually, I was out picking up some Chinese, 7 minutes from my house. It's the same place we've been going to all these years. Next door to it was a paellera, or paeteria, a Mexican ice cream place.
Right. Yeah.
And this place had handwritten signs all over it. ICE, stay out. The employees here are not authorized to let you in. Unless you have a warrant, go away. Chinese place next door had no such signs. And this is 7 minutes from my house, and it just smacked me that they are targeting families taking their kids to get ice cream.
Correct.
I it's here and it's real, folks, and we need to be understanding the impacts that this has on the entire NWA because we are one community.
Yeah, the entire community. You got parents not taking their kids to school, not going to the store, not going to medical appointments. I'm working with a couple people. I'm working with J.B. Bolanos on a couple groups to try to help out the immigrant community that needs help at this time.
Yes, and I'm glad to hear that because, a little bit later, we're gonna talk a little bit about your recommendations for what people can do to help. But one thing that I really wanted to spend a little bit of time talking to you about was the fact that you did what what Mayor McDermott did, what they've been doing in Chicago, and you tried to get the East Chicago City Council to approve a motion to bar ICE agents from using city property.
Right.
But to my surprise, and I think to the rest of NWI's surprise, the East Chicago City Council declined to pick up that motion. But given your high Latino population, it seems like making that kind of statement to reassure the community that you're behind them would have been kind of a no-brainer, but they chose not to. Do you have any insight into how that all went down?
Yeah, it just baffled me. And the excuses they used at the meeting was it was last minute. He didn't inform us. Um, and they wanted to try to make it stronger on the language. But everybody got that resolution that morning of the meeting, which
Mhm.
was Wednesday morning. We couldn't get it on agenda before that because our attorney was out of town. We couldn't get that made up until that Monday. So we couldn't get that on agenda. So the next thing you do is just vote for it to put it on agenda. But the excuses I hear was, you didn't inform us to let us know, And I talked to quite a few of those councilmen during the day in the morning, referenced the resolution. Um, but just too many excuses, it baffled us all. We had the meeting packed with largely Hispanic community, and they were taken aback about how they voted it down.
I y- uh, I am too, and it feels to me that meeting this moment is a little bit more important than procedural mundanity. Like that to me, that smells like people that are a little worried about their own political futures and are not making choices that are in the best interests of the community. How devastating for all the people they're looking for help and not getting even the smallest bit.
Yeah,
What's
one
next?
of the other yeah, one of the other excuses they try to use, well, if we pass this, we don't want the ice to come in here even heavier. I said, well, they're here anyway. They're not, just because we pass it, they're not going to come in here any heavier than what they are already. So that's, we got to back up the community. Another one was that they don't want to lose no federal funding behind this, which is why they ain't got nothing to do with it either. So just the
Mm-mm.
excuses that I heard about this, it broke my heart because, we gotta stand behind the community.
Do you intend to submit the resolution again?
I don't have the support. That following Monday, I met with, 2 council people, and we were starting to discuss it, but they don't wanna bring it back up. What they wanna do is, put a letter of support telling the residents, "We support you," "These are the things you can do," which to me was no good, for me. I already had did the resolution to show the residents, that we are behind them.
Yeah, I this is not the Democrats and the Latino community are paying attention to what the people that are supposed to be representing them are doing right now, and
Correct.
I think that there is gonna be some prices to pay for these poor decisions, um, in the next election cycle.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people were saying on Facebook. So a lot of people were saying, "Hey, they didn't back us, and when we needed them at their time of our time of need, that they will reap the repercussions at election time."
Mhm. Yeah, people have memories, especially when you're not caring when they can't leave their house to get food or take their kids to school because they're afraid that ICE will swoop down and pick them up and take them away.
Correct.
Um, so meanwhile, while the East Chicago City Council is dithering about a very simple procedural vote to send community support, ICE is openly targeting people just for looking Latino. No
Yeah, just being
other
brown.
reason. No other
Yeah,
reason than
just
the color of their skin. They don't. And one of the interesting things that I noticed about you, and I started looking into your background a little bit, is that you have ties to Puerto Rico. How
yes.
beyond tired are you of explaining to people that Puerto Ricans are Americans?
Yes, it's came up quite a few times, and I got to explain to people we're a territory, so we are legal citizens, But ICE don't care what if your brown is skin. If your skin is brown, they're rounding you up. It's take you and ask questions later. No due process whatsoever. Totally against the Constitution.
Now, have you been in touch with anybody in East Chicago whose families have had members taken by ICE?
No, one in Hammond, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about their story, or is that not something you can share here?
They were just disappointed how their father got taken up and
So
not knowing nothing for about 24 hours. And that was the scariest thing for the family.
I can imagine. I know that ICE is not Johnny on the spot for updating the records in their database, which is a problem. We don't really have anybody monitoring and tracking in Northwest Indiana. All as far as I've been able to tell, and I've been trying. Believe me, I've been trying to get people to jump on and try it. I know there is an organization in Chicagoland that is doing Chicagoland, but I don't think they're focused over here.
No,
And it's even more unfortunate because here in Lake County, we don't have a governor that gives a shit about us.
no, no.
So we are completely vulnerable in every way. Um, so
And that
another
that
thing
mid
I I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
that Midway Blitz also includes Indiana State Police with Hispanic people that has CDL. So the governor's got Indiana State Police involved in it too now. So which is another disappointing thing with the governor.
Well, I mean, this governor is not it's not surprising to have this governor make that kind of choice, I'll tell you that.
Mm,
Um, and it's really unfortunate for our law enforcement to be put into that position, that they
mm.
are now having to enforce immigration orders that may violate their oath, the oaths that they took to protect and to serve.
Yes, no due process whatsoever.
Now, I know that you have a long history of military service. Can
Yes.
you tell us a little bit how you've served?
Yeah, you know what? I first joined the reserve, went in, I was in logistics. I served in the 395th Combat Support Hospital. I don't know if you ever seen the MASH movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the type of unit I was part of in the reserves. Then after
Oh,
3 years of
my
that,
sister-in-law was a medic in the Desert Storm.
oh, okay. Well, yes, she knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, then after that, I went active duty, was stationed in Germany. I served throughout Europe, served many U.S. and foreign bases throughout Europe. Was there when the wall was up, was there after the wall came down, Berlin
Wow, did you
Wall.
get to walk
So,
across it?
oh, yes, yes. So a lot of traveling. Yeah,
So I know that the military and particularly when since there's no draft enacted right now, military has long recruited heavily from the non-citizen Latino population,
right,
promoting military service as a path to citizenship or green card status.
right. Yeah.
What kind of impacts to undocumented soldiers currently in service have you heard about?
I heard two on TV. They were Hispanic. They served in the military and they were taken.
Jeez,
It makes no sense.
it's
It makes no
disgusting.
sense. Yes, it is. And then when you look at the stats, the president says, "Oh, we're gonna take the worst off of the worst of the streets off the streets," and he's not. He's taking the law-abiding citizens, and not giving them due process. And then you want to put them in Africa in some other nation, or continent, which makes no sense to me. To me, that's inhumane.
It is
Totally
utterly
inhumane.
inhumane. Even the Broadview location is
Correct.
inhumane. The reports of what's coming out of there are just it's awful.
Yeah.
And no. Just okay, so I'm going to rant a little bit here, guys. In case there's somebody that's listening to this and they've got, conservative friends who don't necessarily understand the human impact that this is having. No, we're not talking about the worst of the worst, okay? I'm sorry. I highly, highly doubt that Trace Aranguas, or I believe I'm pronouncing that wrong, are rolling up to our local Mexican ice cream place and running in there to get a paella. Like, it's not happening. That's not why ICE is not hanging out in that parking lot from there. They're not going into preschools for that reason. They are grabbing anyone with brown skin that they can find. Actually, there's just this report of this woman. Oh, this one pissed me off. This woman who happened to be behind ice when they ran into her with their car. And rather than having to get out and exchange insurance, they saw, hey, she's got brown skin. Why don't I just pull her out and
Wow.
arrest her? Can you believe
Wow.
this?
That's crazy. That's totally
It's
crazy.
what it is open, naked racism married to no accountability whatsoever. And what you get from that is people that are snatched from their homes, priests that are pepperballed. You get all these
That's
kind of things, and you get American troops on Chicago streets. And God help us, maybe NWI. Do you see that in our future, Robert?
no, it's crazy. I hope not, because I tell you what, even the United States Supreme Court is gave them permission to racial profile, you know, and it's crazy. So there's a lot of people who are nervous out there, very nervous.
Now, I know that the part of the fact that the so many people are just unable to leave their homes has really hit East Chicago's business community very hard.
Yes,
Because a lot of these, one of the, the paths to upward mobility and to communing and forming community and supporting the community and enriching East Chicago is to form businesses. And there's a lot of independent businesses that are Hispanic owned. A lot of their clients are Hispanic. And so it's just hitting everybody across the board in East Chicago. How is
yes.
the East Chicago business community doing?
It's taking a big hit. You know, we have a lot of Mexican restaurants. We have a Mexican also uh, meat market. So, but it's getting hit real hard. Even the bakery on Main Street, when I snatched up that one resident, you know, hardly nobody's going in there. So all the businesses are taking a hard hit. The Hispanic businesses.
Now, have you heard of anybody doing, say, an organized support East Chicago businesses? Um,
I know Debbie Bolano, she's got a group together, and we're trying to um, go to the businesses and tell them, hey, put these signs up. But you got quite a few of them are scared to do it, thinking that that might get retaliated against and stuff like that. So we're we're talking to them to reassure them, you know what, we're behind you, we will back you up, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. But we're going behind them, form a group. If anybody needs help or legal aid, um, we'll help them. We come up with these whistles, so passing out these whistles to inform the residents. Even we're passing them out in the community. So if they see ice, excuse me, if they
Yep.
see ice, they go out there and blow the whistle to make as much noise and
Mhm.
attention to have everybody record. We got these red cards. I don't know if you ever heard of these red cards, and it informs them what to do, and it's in English and Spanish. So we're passing those out too. Um, so it's a process of trying to inform everybody and we all keep together and
Yeah.
stay together.
Have you heard of any of these measures being helpful, like the whistles? Um,
Yes,
that's
it, yeah,
great.
it is because it shows support. So it just brings everybody out.
It does, and, it gives the community a sense that they at least have their voice, and they can let their neighbors know that they're behind them.
Yes.
Um, do you how has this impacted families?
Well, it's impacted family because husbands can't go out to work. Some of the moms had job, they're not going to work, and it's hard for them to go out to do groceries, medical care, and stuff like that. So it's been hard on some of those families.
How are the kids able to get to school? I know that in Chicago, one of the issues is that because there's not really a centralized busing system, they all have to walk. And so they formed brigades to walk kids and protect them from ice to and from school. Is that a concern in East Chicago?
Not of yet, not of yet.
Have we seen kids that aren't going to school because they are afraid of deportation?
It's a couple, yes.
Ah, I'm sorry. I wonder, is there anything that anybody can do for those kids to help them keep up with their studies so that they don't fall behind?
Yeah, well, we try to tell them, hey, we have a nice group that, hey, we'll pick you up, we'll take you to school.
Oh,
If
good.
that's
So
the case,
there's some support for them. That's
Yes,
good.
yes. Yeah.
So, Robert, if somebody does want to help, what is the best way for them to help East Chicago right now?
You know what? They could give me a call. So we're forming groups. We're trying to do food drives and stuff. So some of these families, especially now when we get into the holidays, we want to take them, turkey and food also. But we're trying to keep them updated with food.
Okay. So, folks, I at the in the show notes, I'm going to post a way to reach Robert if you want to help the community in East Chicago. And I do know that there are, like Robert said, there have been a couple people that have wanted to reach out to businesses and organize a local business crawl to support. Many of those businesses have, just like Robert said, expressed discomfort in having themselves promoted in that way. So, in lieu of that, please, if you've got time this weekend, go down to East Chicago. It's got a gorgeous downtown. I was just down there a few weeks ago for the protest. It's lovely down there. And there's a lot of wonderful businesses, a lot of amazing places to eat. If you Taco Tuesday,
Yeah.
don't go to Taco Bell. No, dudes. Go
No,
to East Chicago. Get the real shit. It'll be
it's the real.
delicious.
Yep.
Go get a concha. Go get a paelleta. Do you guys have a
Yeah.
paelleta shop downtown?
Yep. Hmm.
You probably have more than one. And go to this. What was the name of the wonderful bakery?
On Main Street, it was part of the Hanchero restaurant
Mm, go,
on
go,
Main
go.
Street. Mhm.
Um, I am, and I may myself be going out and going to some of these restaurants and posting quick reviews just for fun to promote their business, whether they're anywhere in East Chicago, whether they're Hispanic or not, because the entire community is really struggling now and they need to know that NWI has their back because we do.
Yes.
Robert, do you have any last thoughts you want to share with the people that are listening?
Yeah, what? Let's stick together. If you see some, please reach out. We got to help each other. It's about the human race. These people are getting picked up. We understand they got here illegally, but don't treat them inhumane. And that's the thing, that they're getting snatched off the street, like they're getting kidnapped, and which is totally wrong. And just please reach out. This help each other out in this time of need.
Okay, folks. So, I am going to soapbox again for just another second, but it's an important one that I shouldn't have to say. Robert and I, and everybody that is talking about what is happening in Northwest Indiana and Chicago and in every major American city where ICE is targeting undocumented immigrants, we have to constantly make the caveat that, oh, we know they're not here. They may not be here legally yet, but they're still people. It is not illegal to be a human being. It's not. No one should have to beg to be treated like a human being. No one should have to ask to not be kidnapped off the street. I don't care if you came here illegally through a river. I don't care if you rode on the top of a train. I don't care what you did when you got here. I don't care who your parents are. I don't care what color your skin is. You are a human being. And in the United States of America, you deserve to be treated like that. There is no excuse. There is no rationale. There is no reason other than complete and abandoned cruelty that they are enjoying to the top of their heads. They are having a merry time in Chicago. ICE is having a merry time in NWI, and they're doing it because they can and because they like to be cruel and to bully people who do not have the ability to defend themselves. What's happening is wrong. And we need to do something about it. We cannot be complacent about this.
And we
ICE is
can't.
here. They are terrorizing our communities. And I don't care if you live in Munster or Crown Point or St. John or Michigan City. East Chicago is Northwest Indiana. Hammond is Northwest Indiana. Valpo is Northwest Indiana. These are your neighbors, and it is your responsibility, no matter what God you believe in or you don't, to care about what happens to your neighbors. We need to speak up and we need to stand up and we need to do it right now. Now, if you want tips on how to safely record an ICE encounter, check my previous episode. In the meantime, Robert, I cannot thank you enough for your service. As a reminder, folks, I'm going to be posting a way that you can connect with Robert to get help if you need it. And in the meantime, be safe, be vigilant, and please enjoy these last beautiful days of fall. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I
I
forgot.
got one more thing.
Oh, please, Robert, go, go, go.
Yeah, I just want to make the statement that America was built on the backs of immigrants. Let's not forget that.
Never.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's spend another minute on that one, eh?
Right. Yeah. Built on the backs of America. Immigrants built the United States of America.
From sea to shining
You
sea,
see?
they
Yeah.
built this nation on the backs of immigrants. Immigrant labor built the railroads, the telegraphs. Immigrant labor built your houses. Immigrant labor started the steel mills. Every single piece of American life is built on the back of an immigrant. So
Farming.
let's
Yeah.
keep that in mind when we're feeling like we want to say, oh, ho, ho, their papers weren't in when they crossed the border. We're sorry that you couldn't live in the country where you came from, but you know what? Sorry. No, no. These people have been contributing to the United States since we began, and they're here. They are valued members of our community. And if you feel like otherwise, then I think that's a conversation that you and God need to have a little talk about.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you're going to say when you get up to the pearly gates and have to explain your life. And anyway, all right, guys. Um, my picture this time is from Buckley Homestead, my favorite Duneland hike. It's still there. All of Northwest Indiana is for us, all of us. And I hope that these days will eventually pass and we can, the immigrant community can get some justice for what they've had to endure under the Trump administration because it makes me feel sick. It makes me ashamed. And I know that there are so many people in Northwest Indiana that feel the same. So, Robert, please, if I or anyone you know can help you in any way, shape, or form, I am here. We are here. And in the meantime, folks, try to enjoy what you can. I'm going to be up at the lake at some point this weekend, and I hope I see you there. Bye.